Okay.
How's that?
We're rolling.
Awesome. Here I have my dad's birth certificate. Basil Carcione.
Basil Carcione.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enlistment record. Oh, that's his enlistment record. I don't know what this is you're going to be interested in. And this.
His enlistment record? With. What's that?
Enlistment record.
Uh-huh.
When he enlisted in the Army.
The U.S. Army?
Basil Carcione, July 24th, at Easton, PA, 1918. Serving in the first enlistment period of a date of discharge period, whatever. What was this? You can non-commissioned officer, corporal, and all that. That was his.
Non-commissioned officer, corporal. So this is for World War One.
World War. Who's that for? My.
Is this for Basil?
World War One, yes.
World War One. So he was in the Army in World War One.
Here's something that's written in Italian. Here it is. My post office department for my dad. Accomplishment and devotion to duty in the course of honorable career in the United States Postal Service.
Okay.
Issued in June the 30th, 1954.
Okay.
I didn't realize I had all this stuff, and I don't think we did it. What is this? To Basil Carcione. Estate of my brother's estate. He was executor of my brother's estate.
Oh, okay. Anthony?
Real estate, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Personal property total. And that's what's this? War Department. 1944 for my dad. Dear Mr. Carcione, it is with deep regret I am writing to confirm the recent telegram informing you of the death of your son. I remember that day. I was, oh golly, my dad was devastated. I was glad I was there to give him, yeah.
Where were you when you found out about Anthony?
Well, this was, when this was delivered, I happened to be there. May the 4th, 5th, 1944. See, I wasn't married until 1945.
So you were at home with your dad?
Home, yeah. I was working
Easton.
for the Navy Department, U.S. Navy Department, Office of the Inspector of Naval Material. Yeah, I was living at home then. And this was delivered.
Was it delivered by a military person?
Yeah, Brigadier, yeah. Robert, who was assigned Brigadier General, acting the adjutant general. Enclosure, best full of information. Sincerely yours, signed by that, but he was acting.
Robert Dunlop.
Something of that sort.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. And then this was Register of Wills, May 25th, 1944. Whatever that is.
Okay.
What's this one?
No, we just did that one.
Enlistment record. Oh, did we go
Yeah.
this way? Did we go this way?
Mm-hmm.
AJ's, we did that. We did all that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, see now, what's this? House. Housing and development. This was my parents' house, I guess. It was the Santal Carcione Elizabeth, name of borrower, Nazareth National Bank. That was when they bought 1864 Snyder Street.
$78,000
$78,000.
for the house in Bethlehem.
Yeah.
Snyder Street, 1864.
1864 Snyder Street. That's right. that. And this was town of Hamburg. Oakler Avenue, that was our one that we bought.
That's the house that my mom grew up in.
Oakler Avenue. No, she went to high school there. So this was the house.
Okay.
Oakler Avenue. That was right there on the high school. Our backyard bordered the soccer field.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
That's a good
We were
location.
just around the corner from we were the first lot, we built that home, and we were the first lot out of the village, so our taxes were lower. My dad mentioned that when that lot was for sale, he mentioned it to us. So we went and bought it, and then built the home on it. And that's where they went to high school.
They could all walk right to school.
Yeah, right there, come home for lunch. My gracious, oh, I remember when they had the junior prom. We had a pre-prom party at our house where we had punch and invited the entire class and the teachers and the chaperones and so forth. Right before the prom and all. Yeah. Somewhere in my archives we have pictures of it all, but goodness knows where they are. Who has them? Yeah. And this was when they bought the home September the 22nd, 1986. So it was our sale of 1864 Snyder Street for $4,680.
What is this now? This is.
A realty company, when they sold, bought the house. No, sold it. Must have been when it was sold.
Sale.
Yeah,
$78,000 at 6%.
yeah. Oh, I don't know what that was their charge, I
Yeah.
guess. See, these are things I found at my mother's seller's estimate of closing costs. Yeah, that would be the same as that. Agreement for the sale. Yeah, it's the same thing. This is all the thing. A lot of this stuff should probably be destroyed.
Oh, we'll keep it.
I don't know when I'll go through it all and decide. This was the house plan. Settlement for sale of Millard Street. That was our other settlement.
That's in Bethlehem too?
Yeah, that's when we sold it.
Mhm.
On Millard Street as of June the 30th, 1955.
So that was the house you were in before Snyder Street
Yeah.
on Millard?
No, it was after Snyder Street. Millard Street. Yeah, that's the one that we built that driveway and the garage was under, you come up to.
Was this for you and Popsy? This was
Yeah.
your house? Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. And then you had to go up a flight of stairs to get to the living quarters. The garage was underneath. You go up this steep drive, garage was underneath. Then we had that huge lot behind with a fireplace, and we bordered what was that? The most expensive area to live in Bethlehem. Our backyard bordered up, and I know that the superintendent, or whatever it was, the main officer of Bethlehem Steel, we bordered his. What was that called? The name of that section where all the rich people lived.
In Bethlehem.
We had the first lot, and we were in a town where that was in the city. So that was my dad's looking out for us to buy that property. Yeah. Builders. Oh, this was Cook and Cook. We knew Dicka. He built this house. You know that he built that house for us, and we drew up the plans and so forth. We didn't change a thing. didn't change a thing, we just gave it, and we knew that, Petrie, we knew him, we belonged to Willow Bend Club, which was a swimming and social club. And, these were, that builder belonged to that club.
Mhm.
And Petrie Plumbing and Heating, so we trusted them with everything, and they went ahead and built the thing, and when it was ready, we moved in and
Mhm.
never changed a thing. Just,
This is the second house you're talking about?
yeah, after we moved away from Huntington Street.
Mhm.
And this was a picture of it in the snow. Look at it. A two-car garage.
Uh-huh.
And there's a little brick covered entry into the, and then these were the bedrooms.
Up with the, put that in front of the camera. Oops. Can you see it? Down.
That's perfect.
Yeah. That's the house we're talking about.
Yep, we signed all the papers, they went and built, didn't change a thing.
Now, what house were you in when Georgie and Tony were born? That was a,
On Huntington Street. We were on Huntington Street.
okay, didn't you move to that place, Sheridan Avenue or something like that?
Pardon?
Did you live on a place in Sheridan Avenue or
Sharon
Sharon?
Avenue. Where in the world was that? Oh golly, I've got too much crammed up there in that little brain, and to get it, you know, the longer you live, the more you cram up into that brain, really. Here I say, note the cost of a postage stamp, 2 cents, 4 cents,
4 cents.
yeah. What is it now,
This
44
is
cents?
1961. 4 cents.
Yeah, and we weren't sure, put 2 cents, whether it was,
Yeah, you
Now-
put 2 of them on there.
now, yeah, it probably was, now I have it to a postage scale that I weigh things, you know, to see if I have to add another stamp. Mr. and Mrs. Basil Carcione, 64 Snyder Street, Bethany, PA.
So this is the birth dates and death dates of
You know,
a couple people.
well, Paul,
Basil
yeah, and my
was
dad
born
and my mother, and Paul and Angie, that was, Ted's,
So this says Basil was born 1895, and then he died September 24th,
yeah, 1979.
1979, when he was 84 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul was born in 1902. He died June 24th, 1987, when he was 85.
Paul George.
Paul George.
Now that was Angie. That was her third
Her
husband.
third husband. That's
Yeah.
that's the great grandpa that I knew.
Yeah.
Great grandpa Paul.
Oh,
And then great grandma Angie. She was born in 1902, and then she died October 25th, 1991, when she was 89. And then Lizzie was born. Was 1899. Died August 16th, 1992, when she was 93.
she lived the longest.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the next one to be added to that list is Mary C. Megas and Theodore, I guess. This was the house. This was all about the house.
Now, which house is this? This is
This would be the Ockler Avenue house.
Ockler Avenue. Does it say in there? It doesn't say in there.
Sedman for sale. Millard Street. Oh,
Millard Street.
pardon me. There again, as I say, that would be this one. House.
So this is, what's this right here? This is a pregnancy
My
record.
pregnancy record.
Okay.
Yeah. Tony, that was her birth rate, the due date, the birth date,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them.
So all of your kids were born early. Tony was 13 days early. Georgie was 9 days early. What does that say? Teddy?
Yeah.
Teddy was 30 days
30
early.
a month early.
Jerry was 47 days
As
early.
I got, yeah,
And AJ was 33 days early.
yeah,
Did you know that, Dad?
I didn't.
Everyone was born early.
yeah.
47 days for Jerry. Wow.
I I have it fully documented the day that Andrew was born. I read that to you guys the other
Yeah.
day.
Yep. You read that
I had
yesterday.
it fully documented
Uh huh.
to my mother and dad. You know,
Uh-huh.
that's the letter. Then I found the letter, and I saved the letter when I found it after I
Mhm.
cleaned out their
They
house.
saved that.
Yeah, save it for the record for the.
Has AJ seen that letter?
No. I never had a chance to. Sometimes
He'd
when
probably
you
like to read that.
Yeah, I guess so. This is my little log here of Tony, Georgie. This was what year, how old they were. Tony, Georgie, Teddy, Jerry, AJ, my children. And now I've got to keep update all of this. And then these are all different members of the family. Great grandchildren. 208. And I don't know what all these records are, but I got to Chris.
Oh, you're keeping track of everyone's birthday
Yeah.
and how old they are.
Yeah, I have got to keep this updated. What year was that? When we were?
I was 32. That must have been 2 years ago. So it was probably 2008.
Children, great grandchildren. Those records. This is stuff we have. Oh gosh.
Are you done with this stuff? You want me to move this? Or?
Just leave it there. We'll keep filing. This was my birth certificate.
Okay.
Mary Carmela.
Mary Carmelo Carcione.
Yeah.
Carmelo, is that a family name?
No, that's a name, a regular Italian
Mm-hmm.
name for a daughter, Carmelo.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, we got named after grandparents. There.
Mary C.C. Megas.
Mary Carmelo Carcione
Carcione Megas was employed by the United States Navy during the Second World War at the Office Inspector of Naval Material, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. January 4th, 1946. Right after World War II ended. Right?
And a certificate of birth. And here was when I got my I wrote an essay for an application when I lived on Huntington Street.
Mm-hmm.
And here I was employed. Mary Carcione as a junior stenographer. What was the salary? Something like $1,260 a year, something like that. And here were all my ISA Civil Service District. Your name may be considered for appointment as a result of eligibility obtained. Your regular incapable of self-degree. You are requested to submit this form without delay, together with medical. In other words, I had taken the exam and passed it. So this, in order to get on the employment.
Those were the requirements you had to take care of.
Yeah. Now here, then I got informed. Let me see, what date was this? October 19, September 1941.
Mm-hmm.
Informing that you have been selected for this position, junior. 1440 per year.
1440 per year.
Yeah,
So you were a junior clerk typist.
junior clerk.
CAF2.
Oh, I remember golly, what was his name? My boss. Oh, he had only one eye. He had another eye, and he was a cigar smoker. And he would type, oh, I would hate taking dictation from it. It would take him forever. And he had that cigar in his mouth, and look at him with just that one eye.
Was it this guy, A.J. Wellings?
No, he was commander. My immediate boss.
Mm.
He worked under. He was in charge of the
He was in
whole
charge.
office.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my
Chris, is there anything else you wanted to ask Grandma that we didn't get to yesterday?
certificate?
Well, we're just going through this stuff.
Okay.
And this is. There, got my appointment, September 19th. I've been certified eligible for appointment. Temporary appointment. Income tax return. Well, that's all the stuff. Efficiency rating. Yeah, we got rated. We had to have a yearly test to get a rating. CAF 5, CAF 4, CAF 3, certified. Yeah,
For your typing?
for your performance,
Mm-hmm.
your job performance.
Okay.
And then that was all put together there. Save.
Move the camera.
You would enjoy this. Every year they have what they call Music Fest. These are all from Bethlehem, the Christmas city. And where I had my place, we overlooked that, but I moved out before. Yeah, they would have this Music Fest.
Okay.
And of course, there's your Christmas City, the USA. They would have tour groups come through.
Uh-huh.
The way they had it decorated. And they'd be taking the Moravian church where they had nativity. Crutch. I'm almost live. It was live, actually. It was part of the tour. And this was all, that was a great, on the Hill to Hill Bridge. The bridge connecting the north and south Bethlehem.
Okay.
We lived in the north section. South section was where Lehigh University was, up on the mountain and so forth. And that was, and they would have busloads come in to
Okay.
view, because they calling the Christmas city, so it was so fully, beautifully decorated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here is the Packer Memorial Chapel in Lehigh University, where we were married,
Okay.
in this Packer Memorial Chapel.
Okay.
And this is all part of the Christmas festival.
That's where you and Popsy were married. What year were you and Popsy married?
1945.
1945.
Tony was born in 46. I was married, I always told people, we were married in August of 1945.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony was born, and Tony was born in, she was born in October, but 1946.
Yeah.
It was different with my sister. My sister was a shotgun marriage.
Oh, she was? Frances?
Yeah. And she never mentioned it, that she was pregnant, to my parents. She was able to conceal it. And of course, Regina came early on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Your parents never figured it out, Basil and Lizzie.
They never knew that she was pregnant, during that period.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how far the pregnancy went, but she was. You can see from my sister, she was hefty built. You can see that picture of us there.
Yeah, Aunt Frances.
Yeah. Oh, we were ages 5, 6, and 7.
Uh-huh.
And, you could tell from her build, she was sort of well padded. I always said, "You took it all and didn't leave any for me." Very well padded. And here's your little Moravian church and all these wonderful scenes of Bethlehem. Yeah.
So do you have any specific memories about each one of your kids? Like, do you have any? So Tony was the first.
Yeah.
What was Tony like as a kid?
Oh my gracious me. She was my pride and glory. Oh, I read to her a lot. We had this called Book House for Children.
Mm-hmm.
It's a volume from crib to college.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I taught her nursery rhymes with motion, here's the church, here's the steeple, open the door and see all the people. And she knew every nursery rhyme, and she knew the alphabet. At age 2, I taught her just all this stuff. I would spend hours with her reading from the book house. I gave her that full volume. She still, I don't know whether she passed it on to Kristen or not. Book House for Children was called a volume of books.
So she was a smart little girl.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And then what was she like as a teenager?
A typical teenager. I never had any serious problems. Smoking or drinking or anything of that sort. Never. And the only thing was, it was unfortunate, she and Georgie had to share the same bedroom. And like we had one chest of drawers, and this one was half of the closet and the other. And there would be a lot of bickering back and forth because of that. And then Tony had so many different drawers in the chest of drawers, and Georgie had the other. I don't know how they survived it, but they did. Yeah.
And then my mom was the next oldest, right? She was born second.
Yeah, she was born.
And what was?
Yeah, and I know that when I was going to be going to the hospital, I knew that it was going to come early and so forth. So Tony my parents had moved to Philadelphia, and they came and got her and took care of her until after
Georgie was born.
After Georgie was able, when I was able to take care of her. Yeah, and I knew that the children, they weren't allowed. The children, weren't allowed in the maternity section of the hospital.
Yeah.
And so they knew where my window was. I was like on the 3rd floor. And so outside my window, I went to the window and waved to her. And she waved up. Yeah.
Well, she was only a couple of years old at that point, right?
She was 18 months.
18 months, yeah.
Yeah, she was 18 months old.
So do you have any special memories from Georgie? What was my mom like when she was a kid and growing up?
Georgie was... she wasn't quite as smart as Tony, but not until she got more or less into high school, junior high and so forth, she got involved in so many things and became popular, and had this marvelous boyfriend, and then when she went to college and she met your dad, she broke up with Tommy, and she did it in a very cruel way. He was supposed to come for some sort of college special something event, and she had him come, but in the meantime she had met your dad and started an affair with him. And instead of telling Tommy this ahead of time, don't come, she waited until he came and then told him. And then he thought he was coming for this particular event. And I remember he turned around, came home, and his mother was in bed, and he went into his mother's room and told her about it and cried and cried and cried and slept with her that night, his mother. And so Georgie was very cruel.
Maybe she just didn't want to hurt his feelings and couldn't do it.
Well, I don't know, but and we really liked him. He was a star basketball player, and she was a cheerleader.
Well, I'm glad that she
and
married him.
They were voted the at commencement. I mean, in the yearbook, they were voted the best couple or something like that. They got a special award. And Tommy and his family thought the world of Georgie. They lived about 4 or 6 blocks away from us. And then, of course, she separated and got married. He found another girlfriend, which was wonderful, and married her. Then when she went back for her first high school reunion, she had to face him. Yeah. And she had your dad going for that reunion. And then she said, and then by that time, Tommy was mayor. He was mayor of the little,
Hamburg.
yeah, he has been elected mayor. He was a likable guy. Everybody liked him and loved him.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Just think, I could have been first lady."
But she got my dad, and then
Yeah.
I think my dad's cooler than Tommy.
I mean, and Tommy never went to college,
Yeah.
and but he became mayor of the little town of Hamburg.
So my mom was more social, and
Oh,
she was
yeah.
involved in things
Yeah.
in high school.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh yes. You couldn't hold her down. No, she. No, I never had any problems. Never with any of my. Well, Teddy was the only one.
So
Had
he was the
problems.
next. Teddy was the next oldest after my
He
mom.
was those are the three boys.
And what was he like growing up?
He was a little rascal. Yeah, he was a rascal. He was. And, oh golly. I remember this one time. Was it Teddy? Yeah, it was with Teddy. We had a babysitter. Bobsy and I had gone out to dinner. And when we came back, Teddy was so naughty, and he got involved with liking the guitar with the Beatles and all that. So he got himself a guitar, and they had the children had their bedrooms all up on the same floor, and at night. Instead of doing, they all had to be in their rooms at 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
No telephone calls or anything, doing their homework and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't allowed out until 9 o'clock. Instead of doing homework, he said, "I pay attention in class. I do well in tests. I should not have to do homework." And he didn't. And it would get to the point where the teachers knew of the family, that he came from a good family and so forth. Mm-hmm. And they put up with it to a point. But when it came to taking, there was an annual, they discontinued them, that the seniors had to take some sort of a test for admittance to college. And he aced the test. No homework, no.
Yeah.
But the teacher.
He was smart. Teddy was one of the smartest.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, but he was a rebel.
Oh God.
And then Jerry was the next oldest, right?
This one time, so he was so annoying to the others who were doing their homework, and so we we partitioned a room. We had a finished basement. We partitioned in the room in the basement for him alone.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, you should see the artwork he did all on the one wall. It was like a concrete wall and so forth. Mm-hmm. And he did beautiful. And he'd be down there, so that it wouldn't be annoying them. And a sitter come in one evening, and when we returned, she said, "I'll never babysit for you again." She said, "Teddy," what Teddy did, he got a telephone call. She went down to tell him on the telephone call. He wasn't in his room.
Mm.
You know how like a cellar window is?
Yeah.
He had crawled out. Yeah.
He escaped.
He escaped, and there was snow on the ground, and then you could see the tire marks of
His bike, or
of his bike. He went to visit his girlfriend, whose girlfriend's mother was a nurse, and she worked the night shift. And he went and had a little visit with her.
Okay.
And so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was the rebel. So what was Jerry was the next oldest. What was Uncle Jerry like growing up?
Wonderful. Well, the girls were old enough then that they took over. Mm-hmm. I mean, they used to argue. Georgie, I remember, would want to take him for walks in his stroller so she could go to visit her. She had a crush on this boy, Dave Eaton, and she would. You remember that? So she would have an excuse, and she'd go to visit Dave Eaton. Yeah, he was a good guy.
So Uncle Jerry he played sports, right? He was good athlete in high school.
Yeah. Jerry,
He was smart.
basketball. He was a basketball star.
And
Yeah.
soccer. And
Yeah.
soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer, mostly mom.
But in basketball, see, because Pops used to play basketball
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
We had a basketball hoop
Mhm.
outside. We had this one house that had a slant roof, 2-car garage, and Popsy engineered. He on a drawing board. He figured a way of putting a basketball hoop,
Mhm.
on the garage there.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh! And the kids would come and play, and the house would rattle, And then we couldn't grow any shrubbery there because of the balls falling
Balls,
into
yeah,
the yard.
would always fall down.
Yeah, you remember all that? Yeah.
I remember when I tried out for cheerleading, and I used to practice in
Yeah.
the backyard.
Oh my
In
God.
front of the picture window there. I could see my reflection, and I practiced doing all my jumps.
Well, we chased her. She used to practice up at the bedroom,
Uh-huh.
and it was, the floors were, we made her do her practicing down in the basement. And it was annoying to Tony too, Yeah, they had their problems sharing a bedroom and a closet
And clothes.
and the one chest of drawers.
And then, so Uncle AJ, he was born the latest, and there's a big gap between Uncle Jerry being born and Uncle AJ.
Almost 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
So he was the baby.
I always say the stork brought him. Yeah, we belong to a bridge club, and the different clubs, and that we were active in church. We taught Sunday school and or else babysat nursery and that type of thing. Yeah, and no, I lost my train of thought.
Andy, we're talking about Andy was born. He was the last
Andy was
one.
born.
He was the youngest, the
Yeah.
spoiled one. He got anything he wanted because we took care of him.
He had the life.
He was a
had
good
the-
athlete.
He had the,
He
Played
was a
he
soccer
played
player.
baseball too, right?
Yeah, and soccer.
Soccer.
Andy and Jerry, I remember soccer. And the basketball, they love basketball too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what it was with in the yearbook. In fact, I have the yearbook, I guess, from their high school. Yeah, and then the class voted the best looking this that. And the cutest couple were Georgie and Dave. They were
No,
voted.
Tommy.
Oh, Tommy and
Yeah.
Tommy.
Mhm.
Pardon me, Tom.
Mhm.
The cutest couple were Tommy
Mhm.
and Georgie
Yeah.
in that
Well,
yearbook.
he played basketball, and I was a cheerleader.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
He was a star basketball player.
Yeah.
And Georgie, we used to laugh at her. She couldn't get her feet off the ground.
But I smiled a lot.
I know she was peppy and smiley, but she couldn't maneuver the body like the other cheerleaders
Yeah.
did.
But I still made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was her
Her
cheerfulness.
attitude,
Yeah,
yeah.
and her cheerfulness. Yeah, her smile and her vivaciousness.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was my rear end. I had the Megas rear end. I couldn't get.
Yeah.
The gravity pulled me down.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I remember Andy though. Jerry? What a good student he was. Jerry.
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
Mom?
Yeah.
Very good student.
He was at one time he was highest ranking student. He ended up being like the third highest ranking student in his class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was smart.
Very.
Is smart.
Very. Still is.
Okay. So, do you have any nice things to say or advice to your children, to your 5 children, that you want them to remember?
Well, always respect your elders and always remember that it's important to have a faith, go to church, belong to a church, respect your elders.
How about write thank you notes?
Pardon?
Write thank you notes.
Oh,
Be grateful.
we made them write thank you notes, yeah.
Mhm.
And they do. Sometimes it's not even necessary to write me thank you notes.
And now my mom makes me write thank you notes,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
and I'll make my kids write thank you notes
I hope
probably.
so. Be appreciative.
Okay.
Mom, how about your grandchildren? What would you like to say to your grandchildren?
My grandchildren, what would I like to say to them? Well, that I'm so proud of them. I love them. I hope they love me, and we always keep in touch.
Yes.
And
Remember the good times?
yeah, always
All
that.
the good times we had down at Siesta Key, playing
Memories.
shuffleboard
Yeah.
Tennis.
How
at the
important.
beach.
I remember Grandma playing checkers with you.
Mm-hmm.
You do?
When he was little, you used to play checkers with him. Oh, yeah. I think you taught him how to play checkers.
Oh, board games, of
Board
course.
games.
Yeah.
Board games.
Yeah.
And then
Grandma would let
Popsy
you win. Popsy would never let you win.
Popsy-
Grandma would let you win.
beating me in tennis with his lob shot, showing me how to lob it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know this one time he slammed that racket down on the court and came back and I got so angry at Popsy.
He was competitive.
Yeah.
Boy, and that smile of his, Popsy,
Yeah.
I would get so furious at him. You know, he'd be smiling when I would be angry at him. He had that natural smile.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't wipe it off his face.
Twinkle eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Twinkle
Popsy,
toes.
Popsy was a great dancer, and what was his personality like?
Oh, I think he had a very good personality. He was
Cheerful.
very well liked, very popular among his co-workers, and everybody liked Popsy. They all called him Popsy.
Yeah.
He was everybody's Popsy.
Yeah.
And he knew everything about everything. He had a PhD in everything.
PhD in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Good man.
And he was very good to his mother.
Yes.
And very close to her.
Mhm.
I mean, they were more like brother and sister than mother and son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because she was such a good sport.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we need to get going.
I know we'd go for we're gone for a walk one time, and he was in the middle, and Grandmother George was on one side, I was on the other, whatever, to few, whatever. He said, "I'm out for a walk with my two best friends."
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, good
Well, I
memories.
say to have a friend, you've got to be a friend. I always say that. To
Yes,
have a
good.
friend, you've got to be a friend. It's a two-way street, works both ways.
Mhm.
You get out of life what you put into it.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
We all know that.
Yes, good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to end.
It's just like
Yay.
what you put in your mouth eventually comes out.
Oh, that's a better way to end. All right, we'll end it there. Good way to end. And with a sense of humor.